हेलो एंड वेलकम टू स्टडी विद सुधीर। आप देख रहे हैं मिड समर नाइट्स ड्रीम का एक्सप्लेनेशन वीडियो पार्ट 1। आपने पहले ही इंट्रोडक्शन देख लिया होगा, मैं उम्मीद करता हूं, बिकॉज ओनली देन यू विल बी एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट एक्चुअली हैपेंड बिफोर एक्ट 3 सीन 2 विच इज पार्ट ऑफ योर सिलेबस। करेक्ट? सो उसके लिए आपको वो इंट्रोडक्शन वीडियो देखना जरूरी है, वो देख लीजिए। देन यू कम हियर एंड वी विल डू दिस एंटायर एक्सप्लेनेशन ऑफ एक्ट 3 सीन 2 इन 4 videos. Okay, 4 videos so that you find it easy to understand, and I'll also go a little slow, थोड़ा स्लो समझाऊंगा ताकि आप साथ में नोट्स भी लिख सकें। Okay, now this particular scene takes place inside the woods, यानी कि जंगल के अंदर। Oberon, who is the king of the fairies, he enters the scene and he says, I wonder if Titania is his queen. Okay, उसकी रानी का नाम है Titania. He says, I wonder if Titania is awake. Okay, if Titania is awake करके he is thinking, and if she is, अगर वो जगी हुई है, I wonder what thing she saw first that she must love completely now. Came in her eye का मतलब है what did she see first, यानी कि सबसे पहले उसने क्या देखा, because whoever she sees she must dote on. She must dote on मतलब she will fall in love with that particular person whoever she sees first. So that is again something extremely important, और इसकी वजह है because of that magic potion that he has asked Puck to put on the person who is sleeping, in this case Titania. जैसे ही Titania जगेगी और जिसको भी पहले देखेगी उससे उसको प्यार हो जाएगा. This is his way of kind of wanting to teach a lesson to his wife Titania. Okay, here comes my messenger. Who is the messenger? Puck. उसका नाम है Puck. कई बुक्स में उसका नाम रॉबिन भी लिखा होता है. Okay, how now mad spirit? Mad spirit is like, more indulgent kind of way. Night rule का मतलब है, थोड़ा शोर शराबा, थोड़ा, in terms of, any dark deeds, because ये थोड़ा ठीक नहीं है ना. You are manipulating somebody कि उनकी आंखों के ऊपर थोड़ा सा जूस डाल दो और उसके वजह से वो किसी से भी प्यार करने लग जाए जिसको भी पहले देखे. So it's some kind of manipulation of somebody, right? Of somebody's feelings. So what night rule now about this haunted grove का मतलब garden. So in the sense that he's asking him, what dark deeds have you been up to? Okay, my mistress with a monster is in love. Mistress कौन है? Titania, उसकी मालकिन, right? Because अगर Oberon उसका मालिक है तो obviously Titania उसकी मालकिन हुई. So my mistress is in love with a monster. And who is the monster? Bottom, जिसकी शक्ल पर इसने गधे का सर रख दिया है. So that person has a human body, Bottom, but he has the face of a donkey, and he's the person who Titania has seen first, as a result of which Titania has fallen in love with a person who has a donkey's face. Well, she was near her close and consecrated bower. Okay, bower again means a flower garden. Okay, it means a flower garden. Near to her close and consecrated bower while she was in her dull and sleeping hour. When she was sleeping. Okay, when she was sleeping, उस समय पर there was this person who came out there in a secret bit beneath a canopy of flowers. There came a bunch of fools. ये जो पूरे बेवकूफ लोग थे, they came out there and they were ignorant manual workers because they are involved in the work of carpentry, right? So they had come there to rehearse a play because they were going to perform that play at Theseus' wedding, right? तो उसकी वजह से पिरामिस और थिस्बे करके एक मैथोलॉजिकल प्ले है, उसको स्टेज करने वाले थे. तो उसमें जो सबसे बेवकूफ था, पैचेस का मतलब होता है क्लाउन्स. ओके, पैचेस मींस क्लाउन्स, और यू कैन इवन से फूल्स. ओके, सो दे आर रूड मैकेनिकल्स इन्वॉल्व्ड इन द वर्क ऑफ कारपेंट्री, और वहां पर अपना काम करने आए थे एथेनियन स्टॉल्स के ऊपर. वहां पर रिहर्स कर रहे थे फॉर थीसियस न्यूपचियल डे. न्यूपचियल डे मींस इज ए रेफरिंग टू द वेडिंग ऑफ Theseus. Okay, the shallowest thick skin of that barren sort. Now barren means again stupid. Okay, bit of an idiotic kind of thing. तो उसमें जो सबसे बेवकूफ था, उन बेवकूफों में भी सबसे बेवकूफ किसकी बात हो रही है? बॉटम की बात हो रही है। तो उसने अपना सीन खत्म किया, फोरसुक मतलब he finished his scene. My handwriting is not very great. He finished his scene and entered into a break. Break again means bushes, झाड़ियां. ओके, bushes पे वहां पर एंटर किया, और जब वो वहां पर गया मैंने उसका फायदा उठाया. आई टुक एडवांटेज ऑफ दैट. ओके, एन एसिस नोल. नोल का मतलब हुआ हेड. प्लीज कीप नोटिंग इट डाउन. He put the ass's head, यानी कि गधे का सर उसने उसके सर पे डाल दिया. Okay, so soon it was time for him to respond to his Thisbe, because he's playing the role of Pyramus. Pyramus and Thisbe are lovers, mythological lovers. Okay, so उसमें he had to play the role of Pyramus, so he had to go there, and as soon as he got up and came out of the bushes. Okay, mimic matlab comic actor, you know, he's a comic actor. So when the other people saw him, spy matlab when they saw him, when they saw him out there, when they saw him, okay, sorry, spy is saw. Okay, एक minute, इसका नहीं, spy is saw, as what was the reaction like? और इसमें he has made a couple of comparisons. What did he say? जैसे बतख होते हैं, wild geese. Geese is a form of, you know, duck-like creatures. When they see an approaching hunter, you know, when they see an approaching hunter, how do they behave? They run away. They run away, right? Similarly, when crows, okay, if you have seen some gunshot happening and you see a lot of crows, lot of birds like pigeons or crows sitting, suddenly if there is a gunshot, hota kya hai? They all fly away together, है ना? कभी छत पे जाके या कहीं पे भी देखा हो गनशॉट या कोई पटाखे की आवाज होगी तो immediately all the birds will go together, एक साथ उड़ जाएंगे. Similarly, these people all ran away together when they saw this person coming out of the bushes, coming out of the break with the head of a donkey. यहां तक समझ में आ गया? Right. समझ में नहीं आया तो please ask in the doubts, but it's pretty clear. I'm trying to go slow and explain each and every word. Okay. So russet-pated chaws means birds of the crow family which have reddish brown heads. Okay. ये आपके नीचे वाले ग्लॉसरी में भी लिखा हुआ है. राइसिंग एंड काउइंग, काव 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 करके, एंड फ्लाइंग अवे एट द शॉट ऑफ द गन. सिवियर देमसेल्व्स यानी कि सेपरेट देमसेल्व्स. दे सेपरेट देमसेल्व्स फ्रॉम द, इन दिस केस from this particular person, and madly sweep the sky. How do the crows fly? They just kind of go away. They just fly away. And at his side, away his fellows fly. Similarly, at the side of this fellow, the guy bottom coming out with the face of a donkey, they all flew away. Okay. 1 minute. Now, here over and over one falls, you know. So when one of his friends heard his footsteps, they fell head over heels. एक दूसरे के ऊपर गिर गए, almost like a stampede, and they just ran away. And soon it was time for him to, 1 minute. Okay, soon it was, they were shouting murder. He murder cries. Okay, and called from hell from Athens. Their fear was so strong that they lost their common sense and began to think. Their sense such thus weak, you know, their feelings had become weakened, and they were all very scared ki ye ho kya gaya hai, right? So they began to think that there is some kind of supernatural effect happening in that particular place, right? And what happens is that they thought that, you know, just like, you know, agar kapde mein kaante lag jaएं, you know, they hold you back. You're not able to run because something has held you back. So they were kind of feeling as though something like that had happened out there, right? So what he did was, that is Puck, he led them away from that kind of a confused state. Okay, और Pyramus को अलग छोड़ दिया. Pyramus यानी कि bottom को वहां पर छोड़ दिया, बाकी सभी को वहां से वो अलग करके लेके चला गया, यानी कि Puck. Yielders are those who yield. Okay, those who yield yani ki surrender the articles above, you know, whatever they have, they just left it out there, right? I led them on this distracted fear and left sweet Pyramus translated there when in that moment Titania waked and straightway loved an ass. So what happened was, as soon as she saw Titania, Titania got up and immediately fell in love with the ass. This falls out better than I could devise. So Oberon is quite happy with what has happened. So he says, this is turned out even better than I'd imagined. I wanted to teach her a lesson, right? Because both of them were fighting over custody of an Indian boy. So this has worked out even better than I had devised. Jitna मैंने सोचा था उससे भी बेहतर गया है. But have you put the love juice on the eyelids of that man from Athens? Athenian matlab someone who has come from Athens, right? Okay. Latched का मतलब leached यानी कि moistened, यानी कि उसके ऊपर juice को जब आप डालेंगे, so it will create a sense of moisture, right? So उसके बारे में he is asking. So he says, I did that while he was sleeping, so that is finished too. वो काम भी मैंने खत्म कर दिया है. And the Athenian woman by his side, okay, and the woman was beside, and that when he waked of force she must be eyed. So as soon as he wakes up, he would be seeing that particular woman who is by his side. यहां तक समझ में आ गया? Okay. Now enter Demetrius and Hermia. Okay, so those two people enter now. Okay, now what happens? Now as soon as they enter, Oberon says, stand close. This is the same Athenian. So Puck says, this is the woman, but this is not the man. इसकी आंखों पर मैंने नहीं डाला. उसने बोला था लाइसेंडर की आंखों में डालो, लेकिन पक कंफ्यूज हो गया और उसने गलती से किस पे डाल दिया? सॉरी, डिमिट्रियस पे डालना था, लेकिन उसने डाल दिया लाइसेंडर की आंखों पर. ओके, एंड लाइसेंडर हेलेना को देखता है और उससे प्यार हो जाता है उसको. Oh, why rebuke you him that loves you so? Lay breath so bitter on your bitter foe. So यहां पर Demetrius बोलता है, why are you being so mean to someone who loves you so much? Because Demetrius को प्यार है हर्मिया से, right? You should use this lay breath so bitter on your bitter foe. Foe का मतलब है, foe का मतलब है enemy. Okay, foe का मतलब है enemy. So you should kind of use such cruel language. Lay breath matlab you are to use such cruel language so bitter only against your very hard enemy, someone who you have enmity with. Now I but chide, but I should use the words. So Hermia bolti hai, and Hermia is in a very angry mood. Okay, so if you get a question, what is Hermia's mood like with Demetrius? It is extreme anger. I am scolding you at the moment. She says chide. Chide ka matlab hai scold. Okay, मैं तुमको अभी डांट रही हूं, but actually I should be treating you much worse. I should be treating you much worse than that. For you has given me cause to curse. क्योंकि तुमने मुझे you have given me reason that I should actually be cursing you. For तुमने जो किया है उसके लिए तो मुझे तुमको कर्स करना चाहिए. अगर तुमने लाइसेंडर को मार दिया है जब वो सो रहा था, if thou has slain मतलब killed. If you have killed Lysander in his sleep, being over shoes in blood, that means you're already knee deep in blood. तुम्हारे घुटनों तक खून ही खून है. And you should plunge in deeper and kill me too. मुझे भी तुम उसी तरह से मार दो. The sun was not so true unto the day as he to me. जितना प्यार लाइसेंडर मुझसे करता था, okay, he was more faithful to me than the sun is to the day, because sun और दिन का एक रिश्ता होता है. sun आता है तभी दिन होता है, otherwise रात will continue, right? So she says that the sun और दिन के बीच में भी relationship was not so faithful as faithful was Lysander to me. So क्या वो जब मैं सो रही थी क्या वो वहां से निकल जाता? So I will not believe that, and I will believe as soon as this whole earth may be bored. मैं तभी विश्वास करूंगी. And she is saying something which is not possible, mainly to convey that I am not willing to believe you. She says, I will believe you only if the entire earth, पूरी धरती में एक तरह से सुरंग बन जाए. Bored means some kind of a tunnel. Only if there is some kind of a tunnel between the earth from one end to the other end of the earth. Okay, let me go to the next page. Okay, so she says that I will believe only if there is a tunnel made from one end of the earth to the other end of the earth, and the moon sneaks through to surprise her brother. And who is her brother? The brother is the sun. Okay, तो उसमें से चंद्रमा निकल के she kind of has meets her sun on the other side of the world. Now antipodes का मतलब क्या होता है? Antipodes essentially means one end of the world and the other end of the world. So for instance, Australia, which is one end of the world, and say country in Europe will be the other end of the world. If there is morning time or daytime in Australia, in say Melbourne, then it will be night time in some country, say let's say Norway, in or Copenhagen in Europe will be having night time. So these are antipodes bolte hain, when they are in different parts, the opposite side of the earth, where it is noon while it is night at the other end. अगर ऑस्ट्रेलिया में रात होगी तो जर्मनी और नॉर्वे और डेनमार्क वगैरह में सुबह होगी. ओके, दिन होगा. So she says, I will this thing, and the only possibility is that, and that is not possible. The moon cannot come and meet the sun on the other side of the earth. So she's saying it is so impossible that he would have gone away while I was asleep. So therefore the only possibility, it cannot be but, yani ki it cannot be. So the only possibility is that you have killed him while he was there, right? While he was asleep and while I was also sleeping. And a murderer should look like you do, pale and grim. So he said, तुम्हारी शक्ल सूरत से ऐसे ही लगता है कि तुमने उसका खून किया है. समझ में आया? Now, so Demetrius is obviously shocked at this very, very strong and harsh language used by Hermia. Demetrius says, so should the murdered look, and so should I, pierce through the heart with your stern cruelty. Yet you, the murderer, look as bright, as clear as yonder Venus in her glimmering sphere. What is he saying? So he's telling Hermia, so that's how someone who has been murdered should look. मेरे शक्ल पे जो expression है right now should be someone who has been murdered, not someone who has killed somebody, but someone who has been murdered himself, not someone who has murdered somebody else. समझ में आ गया? And उसी तरह से so should I, मैं भी उसी तरह से लग रहा हूं, because तुमने अपनी stern, strong words, you know, sharp words से तुमने मेरा दिल छलनी छलनी कर दिया है. समझ में आया? मेरी भाषा, मेरी हिंदी समझ में आई? With your sharp words, you have pierced through my heart, right? But you, the murderer, because now you have killed me, right? With your sharp words, with your stern cruelty. Remember this phrase, with your stern cruelty. But you, the murderer, are looking as bright and shining as Venus. Venus is a planet, right? As the planet Venus. And why does Venus is in a glimmering sphere? Because Venus is very close to the sun, right? So just like Venus in her glimmering sphere, you are looking very, very bright. Whereas I am the person who's looking like who has been killed by your stern cruelty. What is this to my Lysander? Where is he? Ah, good Demetrius, will thou give him me? So she says, isse aur mere Lysander se kya wasta? Whatever you're saying, what connection does it have to Lysander? She's basically accusing him, even though she does not have any evidence. So she says, where is he? Ah, good Demetrius, will you please bring him to me? Demetrius says, now Demetrius does not like Lysander. Why? Because both of them love Hermia. So Demetrius says, तुमको वापस देने के बजाय, I will give his carcass to my hounds. Okay, hounds means dogs. Carcass means the dead body of a person, right? Or, you know, the corpse of a person. Out dog. So now usko kutta bolti hai. Out kutta. Cur also means dog. Shakespeare used cur as to convey dog. So she says, thou drivest me past the bounds of maiden's patience. Maiden matlab of a woman, young woman ko maiden bolte hain. Okay, let me just clear this. Okay. And she says that you are kind of, you know, making me lose my patience. So have you killed him there? and hence fourth, be never numbered among men. So she's saying that you get away. You have driven me past any person, any woman could actually endure. जिस तरह से तुमने अभी बोला, it means that you have actually killed him, because that's what he said, that you will feed his dead body to the dogs. Have you killed him? From now on, you should never be thought of as a human being. तुम्हारी गलती, तुम्हारी गिनती, you should never be numbered among men, not be considered a man. Oh, once tell true, even for my sake. Does thou have looked upon him being awake? Have you seen him alive? Alive, awake, matlab, have you seen him alive? Please tell me the truth. Okay. You would not have said that. Sorry. Does thou have looked upon him being awake? So she's saying that you will not have dared to look at him when he was awake. In the sense, if he was awake, you would not have dared to do any harm to him. But in his sleep is what you have managed to kill him, right? You have murdered him when he was sleeping. Oh, how brave of you. How brave touch, So basically saying it's a brave feat, a brave accomplishment. Okay. It's a big deal that you have done. Could not a worm, an adder, do so much? So basically, and ka matlab yahan par and se hai, there is one D kind of a thing, A and D. Okay. She's now comparing him with a snake, and a poisonous snake, an adder. An adder did it with a doubler tongue, with a forked tongue. Thou serpent, never adder stung. So she's basically accusing him of being like a snake, right? Who has killed Lysander. You spend your passion on a misprized mood. Misprized means mistaken, right? You're basically having a misunderstanding is what Demetrius is telling Hermia. I am not guilty of Lysander's blood. He's saying it very clearly. मैंने उसको नहीं मारा है, nor is he dead. वो मरा भी नहीं है, for aught that I can tell. That much I can tell you, that he's not dead, number one, and number two, I have not killed him. And you are kind of, talking so harshly based on a misunderstanding. Misprized mood, ये phrase भी याद रखो. Stern cruelty की तरह misprized mood be. I pray thee, please tell me then that he is well. Please tell me that everything is all right. And if I could, what would I get therefore? So he says that if I told you that he is well, मेरे को क्या मिलेगा? Okay. So Hermia says, a privilege never to see me more. She says, when he says, what would I get of it? She says, the privilege of never seeing me again. कभी भी आगे से मैं तुमको नहीं दिखूंगी, and I will depart now from your presence. मैं यहाँ से चला जाऊंगी, from your hated presence. Again, using very, very harsh words. From your presence, I will depart and see me no more. Never see me again. Whether Lysander is dead or not, but you will not get me. Okay. So she says it very clearly and she exits the scene. I hope you have understood the play so far. With this, we end part 1 explanation video of the text. I will see you in part 2. The idea of doing it in 4 parts is that you can understand it slowly, because this can be complicated, because these are all slightly difficult names for you to remember. थोड़ी मुश्किल होगी आपको याद रखने में, तो आपको एक लिस्ट बना लेनी चाहिए कि कौन क्या है, अदरवाइज भूलने के चांसेस हैं और फिर मार्क्स नहीं मिलेंगे. Okay, so I'll see you now in part 2. Thank you so much for watching.